Welcome into First Class. Yes, we know the Jets are flying Spirit. I'm your host, Joey Bonsanti. Sitting across from me, Tony Vegas. We have a fun episode in store today. Just got wrapped up with the Super Bowl. Touch on that. We're going to whole bunch of, Tony was tweeting like a madman about quarterbacks and Derek Carr. So we'll get into that. And he's also very passionate about the number 2 overall pick. I'm not there quite yet. I have a few guys, but Tony's hellbent. Tony, with that being said, how you doing, man?
Good, Joey. It's another week where there's a strange amount of Jets news. Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl. Adam Gase gets a Chargers job. Mike LaFleur hires Nathaniel Hackett to be his offensive coordinator in Arizona. Manish Mehta is all of a sudden tweeting again. I DM'd him to come on this podcast, by the way. He has not answered, which was kind of shocking. It's like, Manish, you don't have that much clout, dude. Come on, you can answer my DM. It seems like all the weird, like, Jets voodoo weird shit is happening, and I'm here for it. It's going to be fun. We're hiring offensive coaches and defensive line coaches, and let's get into it.
So, I mean, first things first, we got to touch on the Super Bowl. There's a lot of Jets connections there. Obviously, the Patriots playing in the Super Bowl, Sam Darnold coming back, ton of ex-Jets actually, and Morgan Moses on the Patriots. You have Leonard Williams, you have Jason Myers, who had a hell of a season, guy who literally went off. Leonard Taylor the third on the Patriots as well. Like, their Jets are all over the place. What did you think about the game? I know it was overall kind of boring. We were invested because of the Patriots and obviously Sam as well, but what was your overall thoughts on the game?
I think it was like kind of what I expected. It was almost like in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, what's the worst thing that could happen? And it's the Patriots winning the Super Bowl and they shouldn't, and they completely luck out and play a bunch of, play backup quarterback on the Broncos. You get Justin Herbert in the playoffs, who turns into his girlfriend once the lights come on. And, I just was thinking, like, the fucking Patriots are going to do it again. And it's going to be the worst year ever. You get the number 2 pick in a 1 quarterback class and the Patriots win the Super Bowl. But, I always told myself, like, if I was like a Cardinals fan, I'd think the Seahawks were going to steamroll them the entire time, right? Their defense is unreal. McDonald is an awesome coach, and it was interesting, right? I mean, you had 2 coaches in the Super Bowl that don't call offensive play. Like, they're not the primary offensive play caller for their teams. So it's interesting. Like, you can win like that. You need to be a defensive mastermind, which I think Mike McDonald is. And, obviously we have a defensive head coach. I don't know if Aaron Glenn is that. And then obviously, Vrabel's like kind of that CEO guy, which kind of falls more in line with Glenn, I feel like. But it's interesting. The Seahawks were clearly the better team. I don't think there was ever really a debate. I just was worried maybe Sam would shit the bed. We watched him here for 3 years. Like, there was always a chance that he would put up a stinker. He did it last year with the Vikings. But he came through, man. I mean, he was begging to throw an interception in like the first couple drives, but they were all kind of seeds. And, once he got going, Kenneth Walker took care of the rest. And that defense is unbelievable. So it just proves you can win in this league a lot of different ways. You don't need Mike McDaniel or Sean McVay. You don't need that Mike guy. You don't need like that offensive Shanahan coach to win a Super Bowl ultimately. And, it gives you a little hope because I certainly didn't have the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl before this year.
Yeah, or the Patriots making it. I mean, a lot of people, and a lot of Patriots fans that I know had them winning 8 or 9 games. So for them, 14 was a pleasant surprise. And then obviously making it to the Super Bowl was like the icing on top. I mean, Seattle all around, obviously you said great defense. And I think the impressive part about that defense specifically is like they don't have a like straight up superstar player like at each level. Really good players. And I mean, like Ernest Jones is amazing. They have Leonard Williams. They have Witherspoon, who is starting to look like almost like a superstar based on how he looked in the playoffs. But just at all levels, they just have really good, solid players, and ultimately that allows like a guy like Sam Darnold not to have to do it all. I mean, all he had to do the whole playoffs was not turn the ball over. He did that, and they won the Super Bowl after turning the ball over pretty much the most in the league in the regular season. I mean, the guy has won 14 games in each of his last 2 seasons at starting quarterback, and nothing but love from Jets fans. And you saw that all over Twitter. So it was awesome to see him win. And it was also like an extra like cherry on top to see him beat the Patriots. And I guess on the flip side with the Patriots, and I know it's been a long time, but they turned it around in a year.
4 wins last year.
4 wins. They went out, they spent money like crazy people in free agency, and then had a pretty decent draft. And like even like a guy like, I know he wasn't drafted this past year, but like Christian Gonzalez, man, like what a hell of a game from him. I know there was a couple throws, like if Sam had made like 3 of his many missed throws that game, that probably should have scored like in the 40s. The Seahawks.
It could have gotten out of control. And Christian Gonzalez, like that play where he like leaped backwards,
phenomenal.
I mean, are you kidding me? I'm glad we're kind of free from like the Sauce Gardner handcuffs of, okay, Christian Gonzalez is probably a better corner than Sauce Gardner. I could admit it now that he's not on the Jets. It's all right. It's like that meme of like the dude breaking.
You know
what I'm talking about. The crazy play. Sam definitely could have played better, but he did his job, man. And like, now it also opens up the conversation. Like, do you need like a Patrick Mahomes or, a Lamar, Joe Burrow to win your Super Bowl? Because Sam Darnold is like not getting paid nearly as much as those guys, right? I want to say he's getting paid what, 40 maybe?
You say Sam?
Sam, yeah. Like
Sam was a 3 for 100, I think, this past year.
3 for 100. If that's the case,
well, let me double check.
He's not getting like paying guys like Tua and Brock Purdy like $60 million a year. I just feel like it's
it was 3 for 105, I think.
Wow, that's insane. But it's insane that the Vikings let that guy go, and there wasn't a freaking bidding war for a dude that just threw damn near 40 touchdowns the year before. I mean, I don't know. And it also kind of shows you like you don't like what was the plan for the Seahawks, right? Because Mike Macdonald comes in, they keep Geno Smith another year. If you're telling me that Mike Macdonald's plan was, oh, we're going to bank on the Vikings letting Sam Darnold go, and we're going to go out and sign him, and that's going to be our guy. No, like when he took the job, he didn't know that was happening. So there's ways to pivot without getting a top pick. And, obviously having a top pick is an ideal scenario. As many of you know that follow my tweets, that's what I want next year. But there's ways to get around it, man. Like, who knows what Malik Willis is? There's some interesting guys. It's just Darnold was like an enigma because he was a 40 touchdown guy the year before, albeit in he was throwing to Jefferson, Addison with Kevin O'Connell. But like, I mean, Kevin O'Connell wasn't throwing the ball for Sam Darnold last year. I mean, I don't know. That was a crazy scenario that they found themselves in.
Yeah, and even like, to your point about the Seahawks making the move for Darnold, it's amazing to see a competent organization go from Russell Wilson to then moving off of him at the right time to go to Geno, and then perfectly timing moving off from him to go to Sam Darnold, who the Vikings were scared to be like, I feel like they were just saying, is this guy going to do what he did this year? Is he going to and next year he's winning a Super Bowl. So it's unbelievable to see competent organizations. That's all. And, I take a step back.
John Snyder's a G. That's also what happens. And we should cut it here. We're not a Seahawks podcast.
Yeah, no, I know.
We're just blazing them. It's what happens when you hit on every single pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
They take Witherspoon, the guard, Gray Zabel. Who else have they taken? I don't know the entire. Charles Cross is pretty good. They draft so well. And by the way, they traded 2 first-round picks for Jamal Adams, and they still got away with it, right? You get JSN at number whatever. They're a very well-run organization. And it's like all of a sudden they're in like the conversation with like the Eagles, like, right? You won a Super Bowl, rebuilt, won another Super Bowl. It's like, that's impressive. That's impressive. Yeah. That's what I would love to do that as a Jets fan, but let's start talking about the home team, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So some staff finalizations this past week. We had a big one, a lot of noise over the weekend, was Seth Ryan. So we're going to have 3 generations of Ryans. He was coming in as the pass game coordinator. I know he's getting a lot of hype and praise because he was on the Ben Johnson tree and trick plays and, designing. And I'm not, listen, nothing about this year and this staff is going to sell me, to be completely honest with you. Like Reich is not getting me excited for anything. Any of these, I mean, like they brought back Dunbar on the defense, and it's a great hire. I mean, he was with the Jets in 2010 when in the Rex days. So it's like a good mix of some young guys and a lot of older guys. And then they hire Musgrave as on the quarterback side of things. So now people are tying that to Derek Carr, which we'll get into a little bit later. But like, what are your thoughts on the staff? For me, it doesn't really like move any sort of crazy needle. Like, I think it makes me interested enough to where I'm like, all right, let's see what the hell's going to happen here. Like, we got a lot of interesting names in the room, but what are your thoughts on it, and how are you feeling about it?
Yeah. First of all, I think it's hysterical that like people are just like Bill Musgrave, right? You hire him. Okay. He's experienced. He's been in an OC for a couple different stops. I think he was just Stefanski's QB. Yeah. I mean, he looks 500 years old, but he is apparently only 58, which I need to see a birth certificate on that one. He's eating cigarettes for breakfast or something, dude. But I mean, dude, like you got a QB coach with like OC experience. He's been all over the league. Like you could hire a fucking running backs coach, right? It could always be worse. You could hire Charles London. I just see like people trashing the hire, and it's like, who the hell on Jets Twitter has ever spoken a word to Bill Musgrave or, knows his coaching style or anything? We're just looking at names, right? Seth Ryan, he apparently, Ben Johnson speaks highly of him. He was on that Lions staff. Apparently he had his hand in like a few of Ben Johnson's like trick plays, which is cool, right? We heard that story with Angstrom already, and he's gone. But, you like the story of Rex Ryan's kid being here. He's got a lot of pride in the organization. So that's cool. I like that hire a lot. Musgrave, fine. It is what it is. It's a guy that has at least coached quarterbacks. He coached 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks last year, for God's sake. I think we're underrating that between Joe Flacco and Shedeur Sanders. So let's not play down this resume here for our guy, Billy M.
You know what? The other thing is too, I'm sorry to cut you off, but like, I really get sick and tired on Twitter when people are like, oh, well, this guy recommended, and I'm not talking about Seth Ryan specifically, but a lot of people are like, well, Ben Johnson said he had a big hand in like trick plays and stuff. I also want to remind people that back when the Jets hired Adam Gase, Peyton Manning was said, you have to go in and hire this guy. Like, I'm sick and tired of getting into the offseason and everyone's just really in the weeds of what everyone is saying and talking about guys that typically, like, and I'm not saying any other fan base wouldn't care, but a lot of other, like, we don't care who like the Cardinals hire as offensive, coordinators coach. Like they're
it was Nate Hackett.
Well, I meant
example.
I meant quarterbacks, like
right.
The lower level coaches. So I just, it's funny at this time of the year we're overanalyzing because we're fans and we want to know who these guys are, but realistically, it's always just like, oh, well, I like the hire because of,
Oh, he knows Sean McVay. I like this guy.
Exactly. That's what it is. Or I don't like this guy because he looks like he's 58, but he actually looks 93. So
yeah, it's pretty funny, dude. I saw one tweet by our guy Action Jack 69. The other members of the staff, it's like Stanford guys that Frank Reich brought with him. I don't know their names, but I think the tweet was like, I like the Jets' plan of essentially having the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thing where you have this super old guy at the head of, in which case it's Frank Reich, and he's going to drastically die and he's going to be replaced by his prepubescent coach. Super funny. Obviously, that's not what I'm saying. It's the old rat guy and Master Splint. All right, I'm digging myself into a hole here.
Yeah, you really are.
Funny tweet. I'm okay with it. I'm not going to sit here and say this is the best staff ever, but I mean, if you told me, okay, Glenn's calling the defensive plays and you got Frank Reich and his guys at, on the offensive side of the ball, it could be worse.
I mean, it's better than last year, right?
Yeah,
it's like low bar, but
it could have been like Wink calling the defense, and I don't know. Like, I just think that it's a great staff. I don't think so, but for people to be like, this staff is trash. Like, what do they do? It's like, all right, first of all, calm down, dude. Like, you don't have to go in and get coached by these guys every day. Like, you'll live with the passing game coordinator being Seth Ryan. We're fine here. But let's just see how it plays out, man. I've never been coached by these guys. You haven't ever been coached by these guys. We know Frank Reich is at least a respected guy around the league, and I don't think it's going to be like a complete shit show, clown show, bullshit experience. I think it might be very mediocre to like, ugh, or it might be like pretty good. Like, and maybe he's developing a Seth Ryan to take over one day or whoever. I don't know if there's anybody on that staff that can take over the reins eventually, but who knows, man? Let's see how it plays out, and let's see how it impacts like how they handle the offseason in terms of which players they bring in. Because I think Frank Reich's going to definitely have a say in that now.
Yeah, no, 100%. We are getting into like these are the dog days here for sure. And when we start to get into the free agencies, into the combine, like things are going to start to heat up. Rumors are going to start to fly. Then we're going to start to paint the picture of who the quarterback's going to be. And then we're all going to get excited again. And we're never going to talk about position coaches again until, at this time next year when we're hiring a new staff.
It's a players league. People are going to get fired up with the players.
So perfect transition into players. Now we want to talk about quarterbacks. It's been a really hot topic. I mean, there's about a billion names that we could have at the quarterback for the New York Jets next year. A big one I want to start off with is Derek Carr, is the connection to Musgrave back in 2015 to 2016, when he was a Pro Bowler, which, again, I don't know how you know how I feel, I think, about the Pro Bowl. I think I've always thought it was the dumbest thing. I don't base anything off Pro Bowlers. I hate when analysts say, oh, a 3-time Pro Bowl. Like, I don't give a shit about that. Show me the All Pros, really. But anyways, Derek Carr, been out of the league for a year, retired, super injured towards the end of his career. He's 35. I mean, what are your thoughts about a potential? And I know you can get into the bridge quarterback thing here, but why would the Jets go after Derek Carr at this point? Like, what is that going to do for them?
I don't know. Their mid-level staffer really likes him, so they're going to pay Derek Carr a bunch of money to come out of retirement because Evan and Tiki are talking about it.
Wouldn't they have to trade for him too?
I think so. I mean, dude, if that even like, let's just say he's free. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. The guy's going to be 35 years old. He had 7 different injuries. Not last year. The year before, which caused him to retire at the age of 33 after, throwing mail balls at his receivers, getting Chris Olave borderline killed, right? He was declining. He was a declining player 2 years ago and retired. So, to hear a guy go, on a radio show and be like, oh, like my body's completely rehabilitated, I'm feeling good. I would come back for the perfect situation. It almost like sounds like Aaron Rodgers. I know Derek Carr's like a much better guy, but like,
yeah, not as good.
It just gives me like similar vibes of like, vet guy. I don't like it, dude. And frankly, I know like a lot of people are gonna be like, well, who are we, right? Who we were starting Brady Cook last year. And it's like, okay, I think that's fair. But like, but what are you paying Derek Carr? Do you have to trade for him? Is he even gonna stay healthy? Right? Like, are you giving him a 1-year deal? Is he even gonna want to come here?
Yeah, that's really the main question, right? Like, does he even want to play here?
It's like, okay, if they go ahead and if they take like Ty Simpson at someone just crashed their car like right outside my apartment.
I heard of that through my headphones.
That was crazy. He slammed into that. Anyway, if they want to take a Ty Simpson or a Garrett Nussmeier or whoever, whatever name you want, because obviously any name that I throw out there, people yell at me and they're like, Garrett Nussmeier. Why? And I'm like, it's just an idea, right? It's like the idea of Garrett Nussmeier. The whole process is to play out. We don't know who's going to go be like a 2nd-round pick or a 3rd-round pick or a 1st-round pick. One of those guys, like Ty Simpson, one of those guys. And you want to bring in Derek Carr and he starts the first like 5 games and you get him on like a 1-year cheap deal. Fine, right? Fine. That's fine with me. He'll probably get hurt, be on the sideline for the young QB, and then they end up starting the year anyway. It's fine.
Yeah.
But if your plan is to just get this bridge quarterback with no like young guy behind him, and I don't really want to hear about Drew Aller in the 5th. That doesn't count, right? You need like a legitimate guy. It's like, all right, he's going to be groomed to like start next year. if you don't have that plan behind him, what is the point of going out and signing, Kirk Cousins? If it's just Kirk, and then like his 5th-round rookie, and whoever else you want at backup quarterback, it doesn't make sense to me. It's like either suck or try to develop somebody, and then you bring in that vet with that draft pick. And I know like the whole like, oh, Aaron Glenn's trying to save his job, all that stuff. It's a tough spot for him, which is why I think they're going to go like the rookie vet route. But I don't know, man. I feel pretty strongly like just a bridge quarterback, almost like 2017 when we just had McCown, right? And I think he got us the 6th pick, cost us like 3 second-rounders to move up to 3 to get Darnold. It's like, what's the point of winning 6 games?
I mean, it's a bigger conversation as to, you mentioned Glenn's job. You got the guys who are actually playing. I mean, I guess it's one thing if Glenn went to Woody and Woody was like, hey man, you're the sacrificial lamb. Too bad. Go out and start Brady Cook for a whole year. It's just not. That's just not how it works.
It's not gonna. It's not gonna happen.
So yeah, they're going to try to win games. I'm not saying the Jets are going to go from the bottom to what the Patriots were. I'm not saying that, but there is a world and where Aaron Glenn could hypothetically win 8 or 9 games, and that would be the perfect offseason. That would be the perfect move at quarterback, meaning like they'd probably get a Nussmeier and a Simpson, and that would be the answer. That's really what's going to be the deciding factor. That's what's going to save their job, is who they pick at quarterback and when they pick the quarterback. Yeah, I'm in the same camp as you. Going out and getting Kirk Cousins and having another veteran backup or a Brady Cook as your 3rd string is not really going to
starting experience, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Kirk Cousins is even going to come here. That's the other thing, is can we start talking about why Kirk Cousins, who played relatively well towards the end of the Falcon season last year, would want to come to the New York Jets? I personally don't see why he would. I think he might get another look elsewhere. Derek Carr, for me, he's washed up. I'd much rather just like go out, and you're going to call me crazy. Maybe not you, but other people would. And I'd rather just go out and get Kyler Murray if we're going to go get Derek Carr personally. I really don't want Kyler Murray. That's how much I don't want Derek Carr.
Right. I agree with you, actually. I don't want Kyler either, but
I really can't state this enough. I really, really don't want Kyler Murray. Like, I really don't, but I really don't want Derek Carr either. Like that. I mean, that could guarantee you some. It's more just I don't want to see him come in because he's going to get hurt, and then we're going to have to play whoever the hell's behind him. It's just like It's like a loud circus New York Jets move, which would make sense, but I'd rather not go that route. And maybe try to secure like it's like Jacoby Brissett. Like he's just
perfect. He's perfect.
Like that. Not doesn't have to be him. Like that style. Like he's just quiet. He'll go out. He'll play.
Push the ball down the field. He can throw the ball.
That is it. And he's just not gonna call it. Like there's no Derek Carr coming out of retirement or any of this bullshit. So, I mean, I'm more just. I really wish I could just press the fast forward button to see who the Jets get at quarterback, because these conversations drive me up a damn wall. They really do.
I think it's definitely going to be. I just have a funny. It's going to be Ty Simpson, dude. It makes too much sense.
Where does he go? What pick? If you asked me today, I think the Jets are going to take him at like 22 or something. I think they're going to trade back up into the first.
They're going to take him at 16.
I could see that too.
I honest to God, and again, for some reason, this is like such a sticking point with the fan base. Like you'll do a quarterback take, and like. You'll have some people agree with you, and some people call you an absolute jackass. And it's like they're going to have to do one of these things. So like you're going to have to live with either route. If you absolutely despise Ty Simpson, and anybody that recommends Ty Simpson to you, you question whether they watch college football or not. It's like, okay, well, Ty Simpson's probably quarterback 2 in this class. They're not getting QB1. And they're desperate to have some answer to their boss at the end of the year if they happen to win 6 games again, right? So this is going to be a fascinating scenario just because the options are so bad. Like you got to get creative or got to figure it out, man. It's not me or Joey's job to figure out the quarterback position. It's up to them. And, we're going to get on a microphone and talk about it either way, but it's going to be interesting.
Absolutely. We talked about pick 16. Let's talk about pick 2. Let's hone in on again, there's been controversy and this stuff. It never. These conversations and debates with me are never fun because I really like to see stuff play out until we get closer. As it stood today, I'd probably take Arvell Reese. I didn't know that was such an unpopular take on Twitter, which it was kind of brought to my attention once you kind of started tweeting, and I saw a lot of people come out at you and say he's only started X amount of games.
Controversial, dude.
Undersized or whatever. I don't understand how I've seen undersized thrown around. Is he undersized? I mean, he's 6'4", 245 pounds. Like,
yeah,
don't really think that's undersized.
So like, there's he's a risk, and so basically, out of like the big three right now, right? David Bailey, Ruben Bain, and Arvell Reese. It's like, okay, if you want a guy, like if you want Nick Bonito, and you think that drafting Nick Bonito is worth the number 2 overall pick, I think David Bailey's going to be like a Nick Bonito type player. I heard it comped by, Connor Rogers, friend of the show, and I agree with it. I mean, like it's a really good comparison, and I think that's like what he's going to be. Nick Bonito is a really, really, really good pass rusher. Ruben Bain, right? His comp's a little bit more difficult. I can't throw out a name, but like he's obviously super aggressive, really, really heavy hands. His motor's like unbelievable. And I think he's going to be a good player in the league. Depends what defense they run. I don't think he fits the 3-4, I think. I forget. But yeah, he's going to be good. Like, he's probably going to be like a, 8 to 11 sack player in the NFL, realistically. I like, probably. His arms are super short, which is super concerning. But, like, okay, and then you have Arvell Reese, who is kind of a tweener, right? He can play off-ball linebacker. He can play edge rusher. He's definitely very raw at edge rusher. And his ceiling is like Micah Parsons, right? It's a risk. It's like you're taking the home run swing where if it works, you end up like if it goes out of the park, you're getting like a Micah Parsons level player. He's one of the freakiest athletes you'll ever see. His pass rush bag is pretty weak though. Like he just kind of runs, crashes into the tackle, and uses athleticism to like chase after the quarterback like a fucking predator, right? That's how he plays. An off-ball linebacker, again, uses his speed. He's gonna run like a 4.4, dude, at like 6'4". Off edge rusher running a 4.4. It's insane.
That's what's going to turn heads, and that conversation is going to start to flip once the combine starts. So,
but again, like the concerns are the same thing. Like, do you want to get on base? You get your like Nick Bonito for the defense, right? And if you have like Will McDonald, David Bailey, Jermaine Johnson, Juwan Briggs, Harrison Phillips, you're obviously going to draft some more guys. You have a shit ton of draft capital and money. To like fill in the rotational spots on the interior defensive line. Yeah, it's a really good defensive line. You're going to be able to get after the quarterback. No issues, right? But, I mean, if you take Arvell Reese and that pick turns out, working out, I mean, dude, like, then it's like you could build a defense around this type of person. Like the same way Micah Parsons goes down for the Packers and they don't look the same. So, depends what they want to do. If you want the safe route, pick David Bailey. He's worth it, dude. Like he's a great pick. I would be totally happy with him. He's a fucking demon off the edge. I'm less high on Ruben Bain. If you want a player that can potentially, transform your defense and play multiple positions and just be an absolute joker, then you take Arvell Reese. I personally am willing to take the risk. Fuck it. You have Dunbar here. I don't know how many games we're going to win next year, so maybe like a transition year of Arvell Reese at edge might not be the worst thing. And you give Dunbar big money to be a line coach because he's one of the best in the league at it. So I'm going Reese still. I think and when he runs a 4.4, I think some more people are going to agree with us.
Yeah, and again, it's early. My take could change on this, and I'm kind of in the camp with you. I mean, personally, as of today, if they picked any of those three guys, I probably wouldn't be angry at any of those picks. there's a world where you can probably sell me on taking a receiver at 2. I know not a lot of people don't like that. You probably don't like that. You can sell me on it. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Glenn would ever take a receiver at 2. I think you're going to see a lot of defense in this draft for sure. But as of right now, I agree with you. The ceiling is really high. And it's kind of one of those years where I see the argument on the other side where it's like, at number 2, you got to get a starter. You have to get a plus player.
Yeah, you get a superstar.
And yeah, it really does have to be that, because if you end up taking a guy and he's nothing like what you thought he was going to be, you end up taking, I mean, when you miss on quarterback, it's one thing. That's a whole different conversation. But, when you miss on someone like in a quarterback class that's not strong, and you have your pick of the litter of every other single player in the draft and you miss on that, God, that's a tough pill to swallow. So yeah. I do get a little concerned with taking like an Arvell Reese and be under Glenn, and then Glenn getting fired, and maybe his development gets stunted a little bit depending on who.
I think he can figure it out. I think he can figure it. I think
he's young too. You can mold him into what you think he could be, and it's super young.
20.
I do like Sonny Styles a lot too, and I would be fine with. I don't know how he's going to fall, if he does fall. If he makes it to 16, he's probably not going to fall. But we'll see what happens. I mean,
would you trade 44 to move up for Sonny Styles?
To what?
To like 10. Let's just say you get to get from 60.
Who would you take at 2 in that scenario?
Would you take David Bailey at 2, and you can move up and get Sonny Styles at 10.
I love Sonny Styles a lot. I really do. Like, I probably would do it. I mean, your defense would just be fucking sick.
Dude, Sonny Styles is sick. I don't know if I would do it. You're so bad. Like, you need so many.
You need all those picks. You need all those picks. I can't
need all the picks.
I can't with confidence say that I would trade up for. The only time I really see this team trading up that early is for Ty Simpson. But it does really seem like that's where it's pointing. And again, we sit here on February 11th or whatever February 11th today. God, I mean, it's going to be really insane when he starts to just shoot up the board.
It's going to happen. You're talking about Ty Simpson?
Yes, I am.
It's going to happen. People will
shoot up the board. I mean, we started off with, like, let's look at the timeline. Beginning of the year, he was playing his ass off first 6 games of the season. He was maybe the number 1 pick. I personally was like, I'll take Ty over Fernando earlier in the season.
I know. I had a lot of people telling me that. I was like, I don't know about that one.
And you were right. I'll give you your flowers on that. Then it started to play worse, got injured. And then it was like, he's probably like a second round guy. Then it was like, can the Jets get him at 33? And now we're talking about him at 16. And then
we don't know where we're talking about him yet, though. I'm more projecting that he's going to be a guy at 16. It is a mystery box right now. It depends how desperate teams are going to be for quarterback, how he does it, at his pro day. Dude, if he lights it up as pro day, like, this guy, like, is, he sat in an SEC school, like the best SEC school, and, there's a reason he had first round hype at one point. Like, I think it'll fire back.
I have a good feeling about him, man. I just do. I really do. I think maybe not if it's not even the Jets. I just have a good feeling that he will pan out in some regard. I don't think he'll be like a top 5 quarterback, but I think he'll be a good player. No, I'm not saying he has to be, but
he can layer the ball well. That's the one thing, dude. He throws it great, like over the second level of the defense, over the middle. I like the way he does that. And like, there are points, dude. I'm gonna sound like a crackhead when I say this, but he was almost like hobo, like Joe Burrow at times, dude. He gave me like Joe Burrow vibes when people were talking about him like that. He was just a pretty freaking good SEC like quarterback that, great pocket passer. So obviously it didn't end up turning out like that. He's nowhere near the prospect Joe Burrow was, thus the homeless version of Joe Burrow. But there were real vibes there for a second.
All right, well, it's going to wrap it up for us today. A lot of good conversation, and we'll keep it going here as we drag out the February days. We got Tony's birthday coming up, so that's pretty big.
Yes, guys. The big two, my Curtis Martin year.
Martin year for Tony. That's pretty much the highlight of this month. There's not really much other news, and obviously we'll keep you updated if anything drops in the Jets world. But again, go follow us on Twitter, First Class Pod, with the I and first being the number 1. Patreon, Apple, Spotify. We're all over the place on YouTube as well. So we'll get it uploaded there. I think we're gonna start to. I'm gonna set up the voicemail thing. We're gonna get that going. Tony will kind of lead the charge on his Twitter. Actually, I
Yes.
didn't even. I think that's probably just the way to go. I think we can play a few of those towards the end. I think it gets people more inclined to call in and talk about what they want to talk about, and it starts more conversation amongst us. So I like it. Any closing thoughts from you, my friend?
Let's everybody hang tight and let's find stuff to talk about and argue about until I don't know, when does free agency open? When is tampering period?
March, second week of March. So
Another month. We got 4 more weeks of hating each other, and then we can get excited about, free agency signings and things like that.
Yeah, I do wonder if they're going to spend a lot of money. That'll be the big question.
They will.
All right, folks. We will talk to you next week. Thanks for listening. Peace out.